and welcome to the AV Wannabe, a podcast where I introduce my sister to movies she's never seen before. I'll be your host, Brad, and this is my rehabilitated sister who's still recovering from early childhood bullying, Aubrie.
Welcome to the club. You're spot on with that title.
Is this one a little bit too real?
Ooh, got me.
Well, I said it because this movie deals with bullying a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Like, from both sides, really. The person doing the bullying and the person that got bullied.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What movie did we watch?
What a good segue right there, Aubrie. Today we watched A Silent Voice.
It's on Netflix.
It's on Netflix. We decided to go with this one because we took a little bit of a break.
Yeah.
It was a bit, almost a whole month break.
It's a big break.
Yeah.
We were on a break.
We were on a break. But no, we could not stay away from this. The people demanded we come back.
For the fans.
The fans were out there. They were demanding that we came back. They were taking to the streets demanding we came back. They had flags and signs and everything. For some reason, they said Trump and count the vote or don't count the vote. We didn't understand, but we listened.
Yeah, that's kind of weird.
We listened and we were like, we hear you. We will make more AV Wannabe.
Yeah. It's what the people want.
We are for the people, you know?
For the people.
Yep.
Are the people. We are the people.
All 10 of them. Ourselves included. We are here for you.
Oh, man.
So,
yeah.
This is a movie on Netflix. If you haven't seen it, I personally would say go ahead and take a look at it. I enjoyed it. It's my second time watching it. Aubrie, what about you? Would you suggest this movie?
If you want to be sad, this is a great movie to watch.
Yeah.
If you just want to be down in the dumps.
It gets you right in the feels, in my opinion. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of emotions. And this is also a movie where they play with the time. Like,
Yeah.
they make you sit and they don't fill the air all the time.
No, they let the silence simmer.
They make it sink in,
Mm-hmm.
especially during when the young childhood years where they're bullying and stuff.
Right. Which I thought was, I think artistically it was great because it's about a deaf girl that's in school, in a normal school, and everybody bullies her, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's what it is.
Yeah.
And so it's cool for those big long silences of like isolation because that's what she hears.
She hears, and then eventually our main character hears.
Yeah, our bully.
Yeah. So by this point, spoilers. So we're going to go face in. If you haven't heard any of their podcasts, we spoil the hell out of them. So if you want to watch the movie, this is the time to watch it.
Yeah.
But our main character starts off as a bully and then is experiencing the repercussions of him bullying someone. Both from like all of the people that surround him and himself.
I don't know. I mean, I liked it, but it made me sad. It's also definitely not a movie I would normally pick at all because it's an anime,
Mm-hmm.
and I am not an anime connoisseur.
Yeah,
I don't watch any anime at all.
I was very hesitant to suggest this to you because you don't like anime.
Yeah.
Like, it's not on your list. Miyazaki films or the what's the other name from the Totoro movie?
Oh, the Studio Ghibli.
Studio Ghibli kind of gets a little bit of a pass.
Yeah.
The second you hear anime, you kind of like shut down.
Right.
And I was like, it is anime, but it's not that. It's so much more different. It feels so real, this movie.
It did feel real, but it's still an anime.
I'm not going to deny that. I'm not.
Still very anime-esque, too.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it was good.
Yeah.
I think it really... I think it would make you think. It really didn't make me think. But I think it would make a person think?
I was thinking the whole time through it. I was like, oh man, this is such a good movie about just life and like accepting yourself.
Well, it is a really good movie about that. Like it does a gorgeous job of representing like anxiety and depression and just like the struggle of mental health in general.
Yeah.
And feeling alone, which a lot of people feel. So I think it does a really good job of portraying that. But I don't know. It could be kind of slow.
No, this movie is a very slow movie. I'm not gonna deny that at all. It if you don't like a very slow pace, you're gonna have a hard time with this movie.
And it's long.
It's a 2-hour movie.
Yeah.
And most of that's because of the silence in between everything. Like, if they cut out all the silence in between everything, I think you'd have a 40-minute movie.
Yeah, probably. There's like 20 minutes worth of dialogue.
Right. Like, but man, I mean, I was loving this movie all over again watching it.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's really good that you loved it still.
Yeah, so when you hear our voices and you're like, man, it sounds like Brad really likes this and Aubrey doesn't.
Well, hang on. I didn't hate it.
She hated it. She loathed it. No. She was shooting me dirty looks the whole time.
It's no Coco.
Not a Coco. It isn't a Coco. Like, but who can be Pixar?
No. Yeah, no. And I don't know. It was I mean, it's a movie.
It is.
Okay, so let's get into it.
All right.
I have questions because I'm a little slow.
Well, we missed some of the text. It would go by.
Oh my gosh, it would like translate. What is this, Japanese?
Yeah. It
would translate the Japanese like writing, and I could never read it fast enough in English. I'd be like, all right, it's gone.
Well,
I'll just fill in the blanks.
They would show the Japanese lettering. The Japanese word would be up there, let's just say 30 seconds, but then the English translation would be up there for maybe 10, if that, and it would go by real quick.
It was quick.
Yeah.
To where I had you start pausing every time something like that happened so I could read it.
Yeah.
So when they're kids, why does everybody start bullying him? I thought that was like the fun, is that they're all bullies together. Is it because he ratted them out? But they ratted him out, so shouldn't he start bullying them now?
I think that's the thing of it all. It's like when you're a kid, it's like you bully the one that stands out.
Right.
It doesn't have to make any rhyme or reason of it. Like the fat kid gets bullied. The deaf kid gets bullied. The blind kids get bullied. You know what I mean? The one that sticks out gets bullied for no good reason.
Right.
So when he got pointed out to be the bully out of everyone there, everyone started treating him like how he treated the deaf girl.
Yeah. But they were all treating her bad.
They were, and that keeps on getting brought up throughout the movie. Where even when he got accused in front of the principal by his teacher, all the other kids and stuff, he was like, we all did it. It wasn't just the boys, the girls did it too. And nobody would listen to him. Yeah. Because, I mean, he did bully her the most.
Yeah, he did a lot.
He was throwing her hearing aids and he even ripped one out.
Oh my God. Every time he yanked out those colloquial implants, I wanted to cry.
Well, we got to see that there was a lasting repercussion even in her older age because she lost total hearing out of that ear.
Is that what she was upset about at the doctor? Mm-hmm. I couldn't figure out what she was upset about.
And that's why she only
had one
hearing aid after that.
Yeah. But like every time they take those off or put them on, they just hear like screeching. Yeah. And so for them to be like ripping it off like that, I wanted to cry for her.
And she wanted to fit in that badly.
And she like never like reacted that bad either, even though it's gotta be just like excruciating. And they're so expensive.
Yeah.
And she had to go through a lot to do that. She had to have surgery to get an implant. So that, oh God, it's just so, it made me so mad.
It still tears my heart.
Ugh.
And it's a cartoon and I still feel so bad.
Yeah, it made me want to cry.
Dude, every single time.
Yeah.
It's horrible.
Yeah.
And then it makes it even worse later in the film when you find out that she doesn't hate them because she hates herself more than she even hates her bullies.
Yeah.
And then that tears me apart even more.
Yeah. It's extremely sad. But she only hates herself because everybody else hates her.
Because she thinks that she's worse for society.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? It's just like
She was so kind, though.
She was so nice. She was a cute little girl, too.
And she wasn't, like, reclusive. She was, like, trying to be involved. And I don't know. She was eager.
She was eager. She wasn't trying to be a nuisance. She would read to herself. You know what I mean? But she was trying to get out of her shell. She would be like, hey, you know,
in my notebook.
Nobody could see this, but I'm handing Aubrie a notebook. You know, she was trying to be sociable, you know? She was trying to do everything everyone says, you know?
Yeah.
Get out of your shell. The hardest thing of trying is the act of trying, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. It was tearing me apart.
Yeah, it was extremely sad.
Yeah.
I felt so sad for a majority of the movie.
Dude, I don't think I would have been willing to watch that whole younger part if it didn't start off with him trying to kill himself.
Yeah.
He sells all of his stuff, lays a big wad of cash next to his mom's head with a goodbye. And then you see him at the bridge ready to fall down.
Yeah.
And then you get this flashback. But
I wonder what stopped him.
I thought it was he wanted to give that notebook back to the girl, Shoko.
Oh.
So I thought that was the only thing. And then he would go back. But seeing he talked with her and he made that like, let's be friends thing.
Yeah.
He was like, well, maybe I should come back and make sure that she knows that I didn't kill myself because of her or something like that. Even though it kind of was, you know.
Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah.
It's sad because they both want to kill each other. They don't want to kill each other. They both want to kill themselves because they think they're hurting the other person.
They think they're hurting everyone. It's not even just one person. They think that society would just be so much better without them. Their moms, their sisters, you know, everyone would be so much happier without them.
Yeah.
That they're like, and they're just suffering. So they're like, why not just stop?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
It's so, this movie's got such deep, dark moments.
It does. It gets extremely deep.
But like, I think that's the best part about this movie is the path to redemption, the path of accepting and loving oneself.
Yeah.
Like when he's trying to figure out, the main guy, when he's trying to figure out how to become a friend, you see that he adopts the one guy that tries to become his friend's like personality.
Yeah.
He's like, hey, I'm going to do the same exact stuff that he did to me that made me feel warm and accepted, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really liked the broccoli-headed friend.
He was pretty great.
He's my favorite.
I liked him a lot.
I like how he went and he got his bike back and then he's like there no matter what. Ugh, what a good lad.
He was a little bit different. His motivations were different in the comic.
There's a comic?
It's based off of a comic originally. But yeah, his motivations were a little bit different, but essentially the same exact thing where he was excited to have a friend.
Yeah.
But like
he's such a friendly guy.
Yeah.
It's hard to imagine him not having other friends.
Yeah. It's hard to imagine. I could imagine it very easily growing up in American schools like I did when I was growing up.
Yeah.
Because like a nerd was still a pejorative word when I was going to school. Like there wasn't a whole lot of nerds. And if you were a fat nerd, you were probably going to get picked on. You know what I mean?
Right.
You weren't cool. And so there was always like a select few of them. And then they became friends, you know?
Yeah.
So I don't know how it works in Japanese culture So it's kind of weird to see this one like movie buff nerd kind of not having friends and
Yeah.
getting picked on. I don't know how it works over there, what
Maybe
the
they
culture's
weren't
like.
a fan of broccoli.
I did like his green afro
I
a lot.
loved his green hair.
Yeah.
I'm a fan.
I liked almost every character in this.
Okay, you know who I didn't like? This brunette that's like all nice in the beginning. She's like, hey, give me your notebook. I'll take notes for you. And then she's like the worst. I hated her. Every time she showed up, I'm like, get out of here.
The one with the dark
hate
hair.
you.
The
Yeah.
black hair.
Yeah. Isn't
Yeah.
that still a brunette?
I don't know.
I think anything like
I-
whatever.
I hear brunette, I think brown for some
Okay,
reason.
the girl with the black hair.
Yeah.
I don't know what I was saying now. I hated her. That's all that matters. She was awful. And I don't know why she kept like sticking around because she had nothing to do with any of those people. And then all of a sudden she's like there for the main guy. I don't know any of their names. She's like there when he's in a coma and she like doesn't leave his side. And it's like, what are you doing there? Like, also, you guys are in high school now. That was elementary school. I didn't even know anybody in elementary school. Well, no, I knew one person, but that's because she's my best friend and we're still best friends. But I didn't know anybody else when I was in high school from elementary school.
Yeah.
I was just like, they're gone. So I don't know. It's weird. But then again, it could be different in Japan.
Yeah.
I also kind of moved really far away from where I went to elementary school.
Yeah.
So that could probably also have to do with it. But
And their public transportation system is much more refined and everyone uses it like the kids go to school on the train, so like if you got a train pass, why not just go over to the next whatever
yeah.
county?
Yeah.
I don't know, province in their area. I don't know.
Gee,
But
I don't know. I don't even know how our system works.
yeah. So like maybe it's easier for a kid, like a high school kid, to go someplace like to a city because it's just like, oh, I don't
Maybe.
need to have a car. I just hop on the train.
Good point. That's
Yeah.
a great point. Yeah, I didn't like her. I liked everybody else. I think I loved this little sister.
She was great.
I think besides Broccoli Man, she's my fave too. She just had a great personality,
Yeah.
a great arc for her as well.
I liked her like sassiness.
I liked her sassiness. I liked how she shouldered all this guilt for her older sister.
And the way you find out more about her as the movie goes on is great.
Mm-hmm. And it's like she's trying to fix other people's problems.
Yeah.
And she's not worrying about her own stuff. She's not going to school anymore. She's not worrying about any of her stuff.
Yeah.
I liked her. I liked her sass.
Yeah. Like she's taking picture of dead animals constantly throughout the film.
Yeah, that was weird.
And you're like, oh, she's just a weirdo. But then you find, and she posts them all over the house.
Mm-hmm.
And you're like, oh, she's just weird. But then you find out she did it so that way her sister could see that dead things aren't any more beautiful than real life.
I feel like that could have been taken a different way too.
Yeah.
Like if you started putting pictures of dead things all over our trailer, I'd be like, this fool's trying to kill me.
Right. That is a very good counter to
He
this.
wants me dead. I'll just do it for him.
Right. Here, intent is a very like great thing, but it could have came off wrong.
Right. If you were not communicating
Why you were doing
you were
this.
doing it, it could have been very
Yeah.
bad.
Very
or maybe
bad.
her older sister was like, whatever.
She seemed
For,
like
like,
she
dead
liked
things.
that the sisters were close.
Yeah.
You know? Dude, this movie's so
I liked how the older sister had like a room and then the younger sister slept in like a closet.
I thought it was her sister's. I thought it was her closet, and her sister was just sleeping in that room.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know where the younger sister sleeps. She was with her grandma, then she was in the closet, and whew,
She was in the ground.
she was on the playground without any shoes. Like,
Uh,
I guess she'll just sleep anywhere. I knew somebody like that.
Free Spirit was it was what's her name from NBA?
She was from NBA, but
Was it starts with a J, ends with an orgy? Oh wait, hang on.
oh no! No.
It's a joy. A G.
No. No, it wasn't.
Ends with an orgy.
Stop. No, it wasn't her.
Oh.
Her name's Stephanie. She could fall asleep anywhere. We'd be like doing warm-ups for like choir and she'd be asleep. So funny.
That's awesome.
Anyway, so maybe she just fell asleep wherever she wanted.
Free spirit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Honestly, her story stayed the most same from the comic to
The little sister.
mm-hmm.
What did you just say? I wasn't listening.
Her story stayed more consistent to the comic.
Oh, was it?
Yeah. I'd say hers was probably the most consistent from the comic.
Is this like dramatically different from the comic? Like, is this a Frankenstein scenario?
No.
Oh,
I would
okay.
say they captured the essence of it because the comic goes on a little bit. So they pretty much they covered the whole series and they just cut out the non-essentials. But that also means that those other characters, so like the blonde, they cut out a lot of her character development. The guy that was always with the blonde, they really cut out a lot of his.
He was just like hanging out. He was just there.
Yeah. Like, so originally the broccoli head guy, he latches on to the main character pretty much the same exact way that it happens in the movie, but he's also wanting to make a student movie for a competition. So he's like, it's going to be us two. We're going to make a movie together the whole time or whatever. And that's all, like, he's just wants it to be them. But then the main character is on this like path of redemption, trying to get forgiveness and stuff. And then all these other people start popping up and the broccoli head guy is like, I don't want this to happen, but they could be another character. And so they get dragged into this movie. And so like the guy that was with the blonde hair girl,
Yeah.
he's supposed to be like the main attractive dude in the movie.
Oh, okay.
And then they shoot this movie and stuff. And that's how the other characters that they don't like, the one girl that you didn't like, she was going to be costume design and stuff. She designed the costume because they had that one brief moment when they were going up the roller coaster.
Yeah. And
stuff.
the other girl's like, she's great. We have class together. She's very inspirational.
Very fashionable and stuff.
Yeah.
Right? So there's all these like things that they brought to the table for this movie. And then at the end, the movie loses and they fail. But they still found their path of redemption. And
Do you think the main guy's redemption path is seeking forgiveness from other people, or do you think he's trying to find something in him?
I think it's
Do you think it's his own forgiveness that he's looking for?
I think it's so many things. I don't think it's one thing, because I think that's what he kept on getting tripped up on, is that he thought it was one thing, and it was getting forgiveness from that girl, from Shoko. But then as it goes on, it's like he's got to learn to forgive himself and love himself, but he also has to learn how to forgive others and learn from his mistakes. Like, it's so many complex things happening there. And it's not even just him. You find out that all the other people, except for Broccoli Head,
He's perfect.
are dealing with the same exact, like, not even the same exact thing, but they're dealing with things in their own way. Some shared, some not.
Yeah, that's their like big push, I think, is like everybody is dealing with something.
Yeah.
Everybody. So you got to be like gentle and communicate with each other and be flexible.
Communicating with people, like learning to forgive, but also learning to forgive yourself really was a big part of this, is like forgiving yourself, but also like learning to take the first step. And oh my goodness, this movie,
Yeah.
it gets me so much.
Yeah.
I totally understand, dude. This movie hits me in all my feelers, because I feel so similar to like what the main character feels. I feel like,
Yeah. I think why I don't have so much to say about it is because I'm on a mental health healing path that I'm not like communicative with yet. Does that make sense?
No, I think, yeah, go for it. Yeah.
I'm just kind of like I'm processing, and so a lot of what's in this movie I'm like trying to find, like, I don't know. I'm trying to, like, reason with it or something.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's something I'm, like, I like to sit on things.
Yeah.
Figuratively and literally, I like a good chair.
This movie is like a chair. You're not sure if it's comfortable at first, but maybe it's what you need later on.
Yeah, I think it has a lot of good things to say about mental health.
Yeah, and also it's like, it's a movie. You know what I mean?
Right,
You
but
can only
it's not because, well, it is a movie, but like what you're
All right,
saying of
philosophy
like,
classes are up now.
what you're saying of like, this is a movie, it's a comic, but it's like they're communicating so much more than that.
Yeah.
So much more of something that the majority of people feel. And it's like kind of giving you a window to look at your own experience in a way.
Yeah. It's, I don't know. I just, this movie.
Yeah. It's very deep.
Mm-hmm.
It's definitely not something to like give you the giggles.
I was laughing at a few bits.
I was too, but that's because I was making fun of people in it. I was mostly yelling at that black-haired girl, like,
Yeah.
get out. Yeah. I don't know. It's I don't know if I'm like just like it's a sensitive topic for me right now,
Yeah.
or like I just don't want to talk about it, or maybe I do want to talk about it. I don't know. This is why I'm in therapy.
You're just feeling what he felt before the resolution came.
Yeah, or maybe I'm feeling what she felt.
Oh, don't
So many
go
different
jumping off of any
perspectives.
bridges here.
Okay, let's talk about that. So I thought it was kind of beautiful how he wanted to jump off a bridge and she wanted to jump off a balcony.
Mm-hmm.
Not very creative with how they want to kill themselves, but
There's only so many ways you could do it.
yeah. It was such a like crazy and like suspenseful moment of him like seeing her on the balcony, and then he's like, don't do it, and then he's like running, and then he trips, and then she still hasn't fallen yet, and then he catches her.
Oh, dude, and we're stuck in that moment of limbo where that like they're
The
drying
curtain.
I thought it was a clothesline, but anyway, the curtain or whatever, the sheet that's in the way. It's like you see her, the sheet gets in the way, and she's not there. And then there's the firework that's going off, and we're like, she's dead. And then he's holding her by the hand.
So this entire movie, this whole movie, ever since he wanted to jump, I'm like, somebody's dying.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, I'm waiting for it. Like the mom's gonna get hit by a car, or like the little sister's gonna die somehow, or like I'm waiting. Well, I guess somebody did die. The grandma died.
Yeah, they telegraphed a death at the very beginning.
Right. But I'm still like, I'm waiting for one of our main people to die.
Yeah.
And so when she's like dangling there and then she like grabs onto the balcony, I'm like, oh, this is where he dies. And then he did. He fell and was in this coma for
I don't know.
a while.
We just know that time has passed.
Yeah. But still, you're like, is he dead? Is he going to live? Like, is he paralyzed? Like, what's happening here? So much suspense.
Mm-hmm.
So much suspense. And I was still waiting for him to die.
Yeah.
The entire time, I'm like, he's going to die. He's not going to make it. And everybody's going to be even more upset.
Yeah. Dude, talk about the feelings that were had over this movie.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Like, when... I mean, we're kind of jumping all over the place here, but like when he's in that coma, the moms are like having all right, how to go about this? So like in the beginning, after he wrecks so many of her hearing aids, the one mom, or Shoko's mom, the girl's mom, totally beats up the main character's mom.
Mm-hmm.
She rips out an earring. She takes money from her, like slaps her, like, and the main character's mom, she accepts it.
Yeah.
And she's like, I am taking the punishment for my son.
Yeah.
He's going to not do this anymore. You know,
Yeah.
She doesn't even really press him all that hard either.
No.
Good mom. But
yeah.
when he's in the coma, Shoko's mom comes by and then is like super apologetic and is just expecting to get hit. She's expecting to get it all back, thrown back in her face.
Mm-hmm.
And it doesn't happen.
Yeah. I think also because there's this great character development of both families, of the deaf girl and her little sister come over to their house all the time, and the main guy's mom just expects the younger sister to be there. And then kind of the same thing where the main character is now going to festivals and stuff with the deaf girl's family, like this integration of both of their families.
Yeah.
I think it just creates this great arc.
It really does.
Mm-hmm.
And it does it over time too, to where you're not like, oh, that was sudden.
Yeah.
You know, the main character starts seeing the deaf girl's mom, Shoko's mom, a couple times, and the first time she hits him, the next time she like tells him to get out of her face and stuff, and it slowly gets accepted to where they go to see fireworks together. He's there on her birthday.
Yeah.
You know, which just the 2 hours is a long time, but the passage of time felt right to me, to where I wasn't like, oh my God, it's been when's this movie going to end? I was like, okay, yeah, no, this feels like passage of time. I'm not looking at the clock.
Yeah.
I like this movie. I like Maria a lot.
The little kid.
The little girl Maria.
I'm hungry.
Show, you died and then you're alive. Yeah.
Very funny kid.
She's great. She's a great niece.
Did you notice you never see her mom's face?
Yeah.
Why?
I don't know why.
Something's always like in the way. Or you see her back. You see her husband.
Yeah, you see him twice,
but you
3 times maybe.
You never see her.
Yeah.
Why?
I don't know. Yeah.
Maybe she doesn't have a face.
She's cute, but her face.
Oh no.
I don't know.
Yeah. There was something else I wanted to say.
Was it well, we were talking about how he was in the coma and the family's getting...
Oh, I remember now. How did he walk out of that hospital?
Yeah, apparently they don't have anybody keeping watch.
Dude, in American hospitals, it takes you like 45 minutes to wait to get your discharge papers.
I thought he just escaped the hospital.
He did. I'm saying, like, well, that wouldn't fly here. Like, as soon as you start ripping things out, bells are going off. And a nurse is like, what's going on in there? What you doing?
A nurse
Sir, sit down.
A nurse would come over, tackle your ass.
Yeah, be like, get back in bed.
And then
idiot.
Would restrain you onto the gurney.
Then you get strapped.
Yep. Then they bust out the straps.
And then they're like, okay, welcome back. The doctor will be here shortly and we'll get your discharge papers. You can get out. And then they wheel you to the curb and then they leave you there.
Also, like, he's got to have all sorts of tubes attached to him if he was in a coma.
For sure. He would have had a breathing tube.
Well, I mean, some people in coma can breathe on their own, but, like, he's definitely got a tube up his urethra and in his rectum.
Yes.
Because you still have bowel movements and you still need to pee.
Well, and also that he would probably have an NPU because is that what it's called?
The one that goes up the nose and then into their stomach.
Yeah, because he would still have to eat. And yeah, you know, a lot of things coming out of a lot of places.
Yeah, he would have a tube up his nose those ones aren't hard to get rid of though. But like,
yeah, but I'm sure it's still jarring to wake up and you're like, oh my God, get this out of my nose.
Honestly, you'd kind of feel it. Okay, I've had one.
Uh-huh.
I've had it. Yeah, we'll just say I've had at least one.
Right.
More than one. But like, they're not fun putting them in.
I can't imagine.
They're nothing to take out.
Oh.
You literally just pull it out.
Like pulling a spaghetti out your nose?
Yeah, actually it feels very similar to that, but bigger.
Whoa.
So
like a gnarly boogie.
Yeah. So honestly, you don't really notice. It's like having a clogged nose. But you really feel it in the back of your throat.
That's what I would imagine. You'd feel it.
Yeah. So like, it's not a huge deal, but it is very uncomfortable. But it's like if you woke up and you pulled it out, it's relieving. There's no pain in pulling it out.
Interesting.
Now, I don't know about being catheterized.
No, I hear that's very uncomfortable.
I don't know.
Going in and coming out.
Okay. So yeah, I don't know how it would feel like coming out, but like those would be a little bit different because also I think there'd be a mess involved.
Yes. So that brings me back to he got out of there way too clean. Way too easy. He like sprang out like a daisy, ran to the bridge.
Yeah.
Nice bridge, by the way.
Very cute bridge. I like their walking bridges.
I like their walking bridge. I like the little koi fish.
Yeah, how you could just throw French baguettes at them constantly.
Oh, that bread looked great.
I know. Their bread looks better than the bread that we eat.
Yeah, and it probably is.
Stupid koi fish are eating better than
I
us.
know. I love a good bread.
I know. Nice fluffy bread. And he got it for what, 30% off?
Yeah, he had a coupon.
Yeah.
I love a coupon.
Nice, good coupon.
Do you say coupon or coupon?
It depends on how I can annoy somebody.
I tend to copy whoever says it first.
Same.
I'm just full of imposter syndrome.
I think the first time I heard coupon was one of my friends who works at Costco talking about coupons.
Coupon. I don't know. I think I say coupon.
I think I say coupon more often.
You know what? That sounds right.
I don't know. It really doesn't matter to me.
It matters to me.
Dude. Yeah. Yeah. Good bread.
Yeah. Let me think here.
Anything else in your book?
No, I drew a picture. Do you want to see it?
We're over here supposed to be writing down notes before we talk, and Aubree's doodling. She's just drawing. I see daisies. I
drew a bunny.
Oh my goodness.
I don't know what that is. That's an eyeball man. He's got a balloon. And this is a spool of thread.
I don't remember. Well, I guess there was a thread moment in the movie, but like.
No, I was thinking about something else when I was drawing.
Oh my goodness.
It was supposed to be a hat for something, but I didn't get to the rest of it. Do you think that's funny?
Oh.
Something having a spool of thread for a hat.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
I thought it was fun. Guess I'm alone here. Gotta go find a balcony.
Oh. I was gonna ask, did you notice who saved him when he fell off that balcony?
No.
It was that blonde-haired kid that he knew from elementary school that he saw at the amusement park.
There was a scene of them saving him?
No, it was a quick cut of like ambulances and stuff, and you see him dripping wet along with someone else.
Oh.
It's explored more in the comic that he gets saved, and then he eventually has a whole, arc with that kid.
Well, I know the blonde kid pulled him out because the black-haired girl tells
Says
him.
it, yeah.
But I didn't know they showed it.
No, they had one. It literally was just him standing there dripping wet.
Oh.
But yeah, I was wondering if you caught it.
I did not.
Yeah. Well, it sounds like you did catch it when she said it.
Well, yeah, I just didn't see it.
They didn't show it really, so it doesn't even matter. It really would have caught it when she says it.
I was hanging on to when he's like, "It's cold. Now it's warm." And he's got this blossom of red sprouting from his abdomen.
Yeah.
That's what I was focused on.
Yeah. Would you suggest this movie, Aubrey? Because I don't think we actually got whether or not you like this movie.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I like it. But like I said, I think it's because I just can't. I'm not willing to process it right now.
Yeah. Honestly, I think you could wake up a week from now and have an opinion, or even a month.
Yeah.
But we literally just watched it 30 minutes ago.
Yeah.
So.
I don't know. I'm not sure. I mean, it's about that time to start going back into a second quarantine, or we've never left quarantine, but it's time for another quarantine, whatever number this is. So if you run out of things to do, do this. Give it a look.
Give it a little look. Hey, he was wearing his mask when he went to the cat.
He was wearing his mask. Yes.
Yeah, proper pandemic rules.
Can't say they were social distancing though.
Well, you know, I'd take it if people at least wore masks.
Yeah.
That doesn't happen enough.
No.
I can tell you how the comic ended.
Somebody die?
No,
Okay.
not that I remembered. So like after the whole movie thing failed for them, or they did make the movie or whatever, but they didn't win the competition. They didn't win the competition because they made an artsy type movie where it was black and white and it didn't have any sound.
Oh.
Yeah, and then they got torn apart by the judges, and they're like, "Who do you think you are? Some sort of like Kubrick person or whatever?" And they're like, "No, we made it because a friend of ours can't hear." And they're like, "Oh, okay." And they didn't believe them all that well. But it ends with them going back to their elementary school reunion. I guess they have those over there.
Nice.
And them holding hand in hand after discussing that what they want to be in the future is hairstylists or hair salon people.
All of them?
No, just the two, the boy and the girl, the main character and the deaf girl.
So they're gonna take over the mom's business?
That's what I was thinking. Yeah, I'm not sure.
That's an interesting. I feel like that's a bit out of left field.
I think the guy was honest, or the person whoever wrote this whole story was trying to figure out a way to tie it up.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I thought it was kind of cool. But also, did you know that the girl who voiced the deaf girl in English, actual deaf person?
Nice. I love it when they pick actors and actresses that fit that.
Right.
Like when they have a, like somebody that has like if they're paralyzed, they get an actual paralyzed actor. And deaf people, they get real deaf people. I love that.
Well, I like it too because it's not somebody pretending to have a speech impediment.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's probably her actually trying to say those words. Maybe she might have dolled it up a little bit more of like having a harder time. Like maybe when she was younger and couldn't figure out those like pitch or whatever. I don't know how it
What
works.
they have to go through for that?
Super hard. I couldn't imagine doing it.
They make the kid, when they're trying to teach a deaf kid to talk, they take their hand and put it on a speaking person's throat, and they expect them to learn that way.
I could not.
It's insane.
It's so impossible to me. I can't imagine doing that.
And they like kind of phased out of that, but they're starting to do it again, where they're getting rid of a lot of deaf schools and making them integrate back into hearing culture. And I think it's ridiculous.
Okay, so let's talk about this for a second, because we kind of didn't. We like how like the real world aspect of this.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that? Because like I think it's good and bad.
For what?
Integrating deaf kids into normal classes. I think it's good in a way because I think just surrounding yourself with people that are different than you helps the acceptance progression, and you don't think of them as other. I feel like this movie hits those points as well. Like the bad part is that they're probably going to get made fun of, and they're probably not going to learn because they're like, it's going to affect their learning and the person who's sitting next to them and stuff like. So I don't think it's, I just think.
Well, okay. So the deaf school we're closest to.
Yeah. Which is rare.
Yeah, it's very rare. They have they have hearing and deaf students.
Oh, they do?
So, yes, technically, because a lot of them are hard of hearing.
Yeah.
And so, like, when I would go to deaf events, because I was learning the ASL.
Yeah, which I wanted to touch on later on, too.
Yeah, so when I was learning ASL and I'd go to deaf events, some of them, you'd, like, try and sign with them, and they'd be like, I can speak. And be like, but I'm trying to practice.
I have a school assignment where I have to sign with a signing person.
Yeah. So like a lot of them will have the colloquial implant, and some of them it's very effective, and some of them they prefer just not to wear them after they get them. So a lot of them can speak.
Mm.
There's quite a difference between hearing culture and deaf culture, just in like mannerisms.
They're more blunt, right?
They're blunt, and if you weren't familiar with them, you'd think they're rude.
Isn't it the way that they like literally sign is like it gets to the point. They don't dance around.
Right. Well, there's no point. Like it's a direct language because communication is very important to them. So, and there's no like dancing around things, or if two people are signing to each other, they don't bother with trying to walk around. They just walk straight through because they don't deal with like, I don't know, like fiddle faddle or anything.
Like they don't have the luxury to just like to make these elongated sentences.
Yeah. It's a conceptual language, ASL is, and most signing languages are, because you can't, and grammatically it's weird. So it's all conceptual. There's signs that like can mean multiple different things, and it's like your face has a lot to do with it too. So they're just very to the point, but also they're like, don't waste their time kind of.
Yeah.
So, I mean, communication is super important to them. So they just want to take advantage of it.
That makes sense.
Yeah. So back to what you're talking about, integrating deaf people and hearing people, they kind of already do. And I don't know. I think it is important for them to be around hearing culture because unfortunately that's just how it is. They can't always stay in just deaf communities. I mean, there's a lot of it's a very tight-knit community.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of great opportunities for them. But I mean, eventually you're going to have to go outside of that community. So I think it's good for them to experience hearing culture. But this is also where I don't have their opinion.
Yeah.
This is just me as a hearing person speaking. So I don't know what their perspective would be on this. But I think it would be important for them to be in hearing culture sometimes. But I think they should be able to learn in a deaf school because it's so hard to learn if you can't hear.
Well, yeah, no, that's totally valid.
Yeah.
I was thinking when they try to integrate them into schools, I think school is a great place to socialize.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think that's one of the biggest advantages schools have besides the learning aspect.
Yeah.
And I think it's important not just for the deaf person to be in hearing culture, but for this hearing culture to experience what a deaf person is like.
For sure.
Who they are and stuff. Because I don't have really any experience with a deaf person that I can think of. Like, I'm struggling to think of one. I met some deaf people, but I don't have like a deaf friend. I can be like, oh, this person.
Well, and it was important for me because where I worked, we would get a lot of deaf customers and I didn't know how to communicate with them. But it was as simple as like just writing or like using my phone, or even some of them would be like, just talk normally and they'll read your lips. So
which is crazy.
Which is wild. I can't do that.
Yeah.
But it was just important to be like, they're a person. They want to talk or they want to communicate because as humans, that's what we want to do. And it's not hard to communicate with them. Like they're not taboo, and nothing to them is taboo. The deaf community is very prominent on being like, nothing is taboo. We sign about everything, get it all out there. And so I think it was important as a hearing person to just be exposed to them. As like, they're people too.
Yeah.
There's really no difference besides communication. At the end of the day, we're both people. There's nothing to be scared of. And I mean, like, you text other people, so why can't you just text them, you know?
Yeah. No, definitely. Yeah. I'd like to hang out with a deaf person.
Yeah. I love ASL.
Mm-hmm.
It's very fun to learn.
It looks fun. Like,
yeah.
Also, I think it would be kind of cool to know, especially if you're like in a super loud environment where you can't, where like yelling, you can't really hear somebody. You could sign something to somebody and they'd be like, oh, okay, I know what you're saying.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
it's nice. And also, if you just happen, like when I was at work and people would come in that were deaf, I was able to communicate, which was kind of nice.
And you don't need to do the whole thing, just simple things.
No, just simple things.
Like I should learn how to say thank you.
Honestly.
I mean, you're welcome, actually. Because thank you's this thing. Right?
Yeah. Honestly, just knowing the alphabet will get you so far.
I forget it all the time.
Yeah, but like it gets you far.
Yeah.
Because the rest is like regular social cues. Like they say hello the same way.
Choo-choo train.
Yeah.
That's all I remember from that one day of ASL.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I was going to ask you, in this movie, they're not doing American Sign Language.
No.
They're doing, I'm guessing, Japanese Sign Language, if that's what it is. How many of those signs carried over to ASL?
I don't think many. I also haven't practiced in a very long time, and I've forgotten a lot.
I was so curious. Every time they were doing it and they weren't saying anything, I'm like, how much does Aubrie pick up?
But like usually I can pick up like some things. Like with the news, if there's an interpreter, I'll watch them and I can kind of pick up what's going on. I couldn't pick up anything from this movie.
It's also a cartoon.
It's a cartoon, so it was also odd.
Mm-hmm.
They're also talking and signing at the same time, which is, you just shouldn't do that.
Yeah. Well,
it's so confusing.
They were trying to get
I know it was for like cinematic effect of
subtitles and stuff,
but
which I appreciated. But,
definitely.
Yeah.
But I couldn't understand anything.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Is this how you do sayonara?
No.
Okay. Yeah.
I don't even think that'd be an American Sign Language.
What was the sorry was like something like that?
Yeah, no, our sorry American Sign Language is way different for
it's
sorry.
Like that, rubbing the chest instead. Yeah.
But that like it has to do. It's conceptual, so it goes with the culture. So American culture, even hearing people go, "I'm sorry," and they like touch their chest. So a lot of things like spring from that. But then American Sign Language has come from French.
Sign language. Weren't they the first ones to do it?
I don't know. But I know it's the French. It's grammatically, it's like French.
Ah, nice.
So it was a French dude that created it.
That's why they had the baguettes all over in this movie.
Yeah.
They were paying homage to our French. Chocolat bleu. Omelette du fromage. Fudu fa.
I'm trying to think. I'm so thinking that song. Anyway. Pamplemousse.
Splish splash.
Yeah. But it was cool to see a movie about a deaf person.
I enjoyed this movie so much.
Yeah.
I don't think I'll watch it tomorrow, but
No.
I could easily watch it with somebody new.
From like so many different perspectives, this movie has a lot to offer.
Mm-hmm.
Like for mental health, for different cultures, for understanding different people.
Learning
from a
to
deaf
love
perspective.
yourself.
Love yourself. There's a lot of different avenues it takes.
Like, I think they highlighted a lot about deaf in this, but I honestly feel like it was a great channel to just society.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
They could have used a blind person.
Yeah.
And had the same exact scenarios and everything.
Yeah.
I liked it.
Me too. It'd be cool if there was a blind person because maybe they'd have a seeing eye dog.
Oh, dude, it could be a cute little guy. Or probably a golden retriever or a Labrador. Those always seem to be around there.
Yeah, or a German Shepherd.
Shepherd. Yeah, those guys are smart too.
They're a good size.
A collie.
Collie.
Those
Sometimes poodles.
are very smart. You need very smart dogs. You couldn't do this with like a...
With Aria. No, because Aria's too smart.
Some huskies can do it, but they're very strong-willed. But like, yeah, you need like those gentle brainiac dogs. You couldn't do it with like a... I'm trying to think of dumb dogs.
Well, also you need like a biggish dog because our dog Stella
It's too small.
is too small.
Too small. You need a bigger dog so that way like cars,
Yeah.
people, they're like in the way enough to where people would have to recognize them.
I love when I see a working dog that's a Great Dane. It's
The
my
Great Dane-
favorite.
A Great Dane is a great example. They're kind of dumb.
They're gentle, but they will clear the way.
They will clear the way.
They will get you there.
The
They'll notice you.
problem with Great Danes, though, is that
They like to lean on you.
they're leaners. No, they don't live long enough.
No, they don't.
Like you could probably train one to do some good stuff, but I think they might only have like 4 good years of service before they
Yeah.
pass away. By the time you train them, all that stuff,
Yeah.
they only get 7 years. But we've had Danes last for 10 years.
We've had old Danes.
But they're the outliers.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I think all of our Danes have hit 10.
Yeah.
Marmalade definitely hit 10.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't have Zipper for very long because we moved.
Didn't Clementine get to like 12?
Clementine was definitely at least 11.
She was old.
She was an old dog, and even on the night that she died, she was still pretty spry.
She like kind of had hip problems, and she had lumps.
But she
all
always
over
had
her.
hip
But
problems.
she always had hip problems.
And all Danes get hip problems pretty much.
There's just so much dog.
It's just known that Danes get hip problems.
I mean, with a stature like that,
Yeah.
with legs like that.
When legs that go to Canada. Yeah. But yeah, service dog. Little
Yeah.
off topic.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Spitting silly.
Spitting silly.
Did you have any facts for me for this?
They're not too important, honestly. Like, I'll just hit them off right here. We don't need to go to a section.
Okay.
94% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Wow.
And the audience score, 93%.
Wow. Good job.
Yeah. And it made $33 million.
Whoa.
Yeah. So,
That's a lot of money.
yeah, it's not bad.
You could buy. Never mind. You could buy a lot of bread.
Oh, yes, you could.
And imagine how much you could get if you had a coupon.
Oh, well, it's good to be back, Aubrey.
Good to be back.
Next,
Oh, wait. I just repeated what you said.
yeah. Well, next week we're gonna do some Christmas.
Christmas.
Some Christmas.
What's your favorite Christmas song? Can I tell you mine?
Yeah,
It's a tie between I'm the Happiest Christmas Tree.
that one's pretty good.
And
And hang on,
Dominic.
I was gonna guess it. I was gonna guess it. I
Is
was
that what
gonna,
you were gonna guess?
Yeah, I was gonna say Dominic,
I love Dominic the donkey.
the Christmas donkey.
Oh
Chickadee
man!
chick.
Every time it came on when I was at work, I'd get so excited, and my boss really hated it.
Yeah, I could easily see it be a song that people loathe.
Sometimes I'd put it on repeat, and nobody would notice until it was like 10 minutes in, and they're like, "Oh my god,
This is
The
a
song is
really,
really
long-
annoying."
really long song. All right. See you next week, Aubrey.
Bye.